Hi everyone, welcome to COM 535. I'm Susan McGee. I'm your instructor for your online graduate course. I'm very happy to be coming to you from my screencasting computer in my dining room. Anyway, happy fall, welcome. I would like to just take a few minutes just to run you through some of the basics of the course, and then I'll be back in video 2 to do just a little bit more of a formal introduction to what I mean by digital publishing in terms of this course, because digital publishing obviously could be a lot of things. But before we get into that, I did want to cover a couple of basics. The first is our course setup here. Now you can only see these. This is my full menu. I'm just not hiding it. But obviously, you know the course is going to be set up into weeks. And then under here, course syllabus, there are some important things that I want you to be aware of. Obviously, you should go through the syllabus. And I want you to understand you're going to have weekly discussion boards and assignments. And then you're going to have two standalone projects. One is your blog project. And this document explains the overview, the scheduling, and the grading. So basically, the short version of the overview is you'll be using WordPress to create your blog. WordPress is not the only game in town in terms of a platform. However, it's a little bit more difficult to use. I can be honest about that. Look, I've had students who've used Wix and then said, oh, I like WordPress better, or they left WordPress to go to Wix because they like that better. The reason I want you to use WordPress is because it is the most used platform in the real world by businesses, organizations, brands. So it's a really good thing it's a good platform to have on your resume. They're constantly updating the interface, which is super annoying, especially for me, because when I'm making videos, I'm like, oh, now they changed it. But the key is be patient. Everybody gets there. Don't worry, I do have a lot of tutorials. WordPress has a lot of help, very good help articles and videos, so you'll be fine, I promise. So your blog is going to consist of 3 posts that will be on a topic of your choosing. So it could be a hobby, it could be something related to your professional work. The only thing that's off limits would be purely creative, so like you can't post like poetry. You can have a blog about poetry and poets that you admire and things like that. And then it has to be legal. So it can't be about, you're all over 21. So, it can't be about, vaping marijuana. It would have to be medical marijuana, I guess. Anyway, I don't really know if you would really want to do that topic, although I've said that and people have done it. So, it depends on what your career goals are. Anyway, and then in addition to your 3 posts, which will be all about whatever your topic is, it could be gardening, it could be food trucks, it could be art, it could be a do-it-yourself something. Maybe I had a student who did a beautiful blog about screen printing. I've had students do, how to teach yourself how to draw. I had a student who did a blog about being a ballet dancer. So really think about what it is that you love and have passion for, and that's what you'll be doing your blog about. So you'll be doing Hi everyone, welcome to your COM 535 online graduate class, Digital Publishing. I'm Susan McGee, and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. I'm just going to say it. This is like my favorite class that I teach at Drexel. I love everything that I teach, but this is really my favorite class. I do this for undergrads and graduates, and I just really enjoy it because I feel like students really get a lot out of it, and you don't always have a whole lot of space. I shouldn't say we. You guys don't have a lot of space always to indulge that more creative side in your writing and your work. So this is a course that really will give you an opportunity to do that. So here I am on the course page. I just want to run through in this video just some basics about the course. So you will be doing a blog project, and I'll get into much more of that in detail. You can read through here, which will give you a really good idea of the work involved. So you might have done a blog for another class as an assignment vehicle, like in the social media course that I do. Students do blog their assignments for that class, but this is different. This is a blog that you're going to create on a topic of your choosing. You're really going to have an audience that you identify, and you're really going to write to and brand visually this blog for that audience. So it's going to consist of 3 posts that you write, an extensive about, which we'll get into. It's not like a bio. This is an about, which is completely different than a bio. A bio is really about you. An about for a blog is really it's about you and the blog. So we'll get into that. And then you will also have a resources section or links I like. You're going to have widgets. You're going to format a header. You're going to have comments on it by the end of the course. So it really will take you through what it takes to be a publisher of a blog. So you really will be a digital publisher. So, and we begin this class by looking at book publishing and magazine publishing, and we kind of look at that as, and then how do we fit into that? How do we as digital publishers, come in and fit it into that? And it's an interesting process when we look at it. So you will be doing a blog project. Your other project, which will count as your final project, which is standalone, it is not related to your blog topic, because your blog topic could be on a hobby, it could be on just something you're passionate about, it could be about horses, it could be about your career as a ballet dancer in another life, it could be about your love of books, it could be food trucks. Could be anything like that. So, but your final project will be related. You'll be writing like a feature kind of article that you could digitally publish, not necessarily on your blog, but on somebody else's blog or website or magazine. Okay. And it will be about some aspect of digital publishing that you really want to learn more about. And you don't have to decide this now. You'll be writing this, and the first part of the project, though, will entail an annotated bibliography. One thing I do want to say, in this course, in blog writing, we don't have annotated bibliographies, we have links, okay? And in future articles, we do too. Now, sometimes there might be a bibliography at the end, but mostly not. Like if you read the New Yorker or Atlantic, Vox, Vice, any of these where there's some long-form journalism, you don't tend to see footnotes or bibliographies. So, but you will be creating an annotated bibliography for me. So you can read all about that, and that's your final project, and that will be due at the end of finals week, and you will have a draft, which I will read, and you'll have plenty of time to work on that. Okay, the other thing I would really love for you to look at this example here and read it. This is how in your assignments, now this is not how you're going to do it in your blog postings, but for your regular discussion boards and assignments where I'm giving you resources and then I'm asking you to do a reading response or to discuss those resources and what you learned, you don't have a bibliography, you don't have to have links, you just need to mention your sources in the text, and there's an example like here, this is from another class, Ethan Tussey wrote in this article, you can also, there's no one way to do it. You could do McCann, like in that article. As long as I know which article you're talking about, we're good, okay? You don't need a bibliography. The other thing I want to show you is the discussion board grading and guidelines. I would really like for you to read this. It's really important because you must use your sources, okay? I expect a lot out of your discussion boards. I participate in every single one. You might have had a class before where you're like, does this professor ever read anything here? You will not wonder about that in this class. I read everything, and sometimes I might have a question for you, or I want to at least know that you read what I wrote, so I ask that you respond to me. I understand, though, I might be getting there a little bit later. You might have already done your posting and done your responses, but you still need to come in by the following week and read what I wrote, and you can even just say, hey, thanks, professor, I saw your comment, or just, say something in response, so I know that you read it. Okay. The other thing I expect when you are responding to a student who, let's say when we go to look at about pages and somebody's discussing an about page on a blog that they looked at, you need to go and look at that blog that they're discussing. You can't just make a comment without going and looking at it. So I'm really looking to see that you're doing that. It's really important. Again, I expect a lot out of discussion boards in this class. I put in a lot, you put in a lot, and then we all get a lot out of it. Okay. The other, one more thing I like, there's this common AP and writing errors document. This is just from me. I've compiled this. This is a list of just really common errors that I see, and I'm giving you examples of how to correct it. They're in different categories. It could be, excuse me, quoting a source. It could be, so it could be something that you're doing in your blog post. It could be a writing issue. So, and I'll say you've got this punctuation issue. Everybody has the M dash issue just about. So I'll say you've got an M dash issue. So you need to come into the document and go and look at it and see what I'm talking about. And then hyphens is another one. So semicolons, things like don't center paragraphs of text online, all of these kinds of things. So I will give you, these are just common errors I see in your written assignments and also in your blog post writing. After your first blog post is graded as an assignment, and then and I give you a complete chance to revise everything. Okay, but if I'm pointing out that you made a semicolon error or you didn't use an M dash correctly, and next week you submit it again, you're going to get points off for that. So I'm really looking for you to improve. I'm not here to just be an editor. I'm here to be an editor and an instructor, and you need to learn. You need to learn and correct the mistakes that you have, because you'll just keep getting points off, and it's just isn't professional to make those kind of mistakes. Especially those of you who really are already writing in the real world or at work. You want to really tune in and I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. I also have a lot of trouble getting the spell check to work sometimes when I'm writing in the Blackboard. I don't know why. But what you're writing is going on a blog, and it really has to be pretty darn perfect. So we want to make sure we catch all of those mistakes. Okay. So these are just some of the basics of the course. I want everybody to get an A and do really well. And, just make sure that you are attributing your sources in your assignments and discussion boards, and without a bibliography, because we don't need it for that. And then, you'll follow along and you'll see the blog project guidelines and then your final project guidelines. Okay? And if you have any questions, please let me know.